The goal of the cloning project is to give to human beings eternal life.
Now we're talking about the Raelian movement and the company Clonaid, which boasts the creation of a human clone, but we haven't seen any proof of that yet. We haven't seen that little girl, Eve. You've got a question.
Yes, I have a question. You say you want this clone, and it's going to be a look-alike, but being that it's not that actual person, it's not going to have the same friends, it probably won't even like the same thing, so it's not fair to the clone to... For you to pressure the clone to be
no, you don't
just
understand.
Like that person.
It's not. I know it's not going to be my Carrie in the ground. Let's get this clear right now. This is going to be a twin. And yes, I know she's going to have different characteristics, but her face will be the same. She will look the same, and she will be my genetic makeup in Carrie's. It will be just like my baby girl again.
And even some characteristics will be the same, because some are genetically
So please
rooted.
don't misquote me. I do know this is not my Carrie in the ground.
Yeah, my question is for Thomas, I believe.
Yeah.
Your movement is so far left of the normal scientific community, and yet you made such a big splash. You talk the talk. You owe it to the world to walk the walk.
How many wackos walked in abortion clinics to throw a bomb at them? You know, they're just afraid of their... If you've been waiting for a child for so many years, and now it's here, you're not going to take a risk for some idiot pointing a gun at it. Keep that in mind. Try to put yourself in the mind of the family. That's what many people forget. Put yourself in the mind of the family. How they would feel, how would they react?
That's legitimate. Okay.
Thomas, what about the second clone baby that was announced earlier this month to the Dutch couple? What about proof from that?
We work on that right now. We're looking at different options because we know the world is waiting for proof. But as Dr. Boisselier always said very nicely, I don't trade in the trust that the patients gave to me for scientific proof. The scientific proof will come as soon as they're ready, and I won't trade in the trust of the patient. And we receive a lot of support.
How are you going to ever guarantee the trust? How are you going to ever guarantee the trust of those families? You're never going to be able to guarantee it.
If they feel at risk, they don't want to go for it.
My statement is for the mother. You say that you believe that God blessed you with that child?
Yes,
Wouldn't God also take that child away for a certain reason?
And God can give me back my child.
We were created with the capacity of becoming scientific and being able to clone people. It's natural because it's in us. If God or whatever you believe who created you did put in you this capacity of becoming a scientist and really choose your destiny, I think it's natural. It's natural. We are scientists. We will do the same thing that the Elohim did for us. We will create another humanity on another planet.
Now,
it's natural.
Now, Eric is here in the audience. He's right here. Eric, please stand up. And he was a member of the Raelian movement until he made a realization. Eric, thanks for being here. I think it's always good for healthy debate. It's very important. You were a Raelian for how long?
For 17 years.
17 years.
Yes, for 17 years I deeply believe in Rael and all his philosophy.
Mm-hmm. What changed your mind?
In 1999, at my last meditation seminar, I've seen things that I really didn't like. And afterward, I started my own brainwashing process to wash my brain of the Raelian belief and to all put them in question. And I did some research, and I found out that everything that Rael said in his first book was already printed by author that was published in France, in French language, before him. So 98% of everything that's said in his first book was already said by author before him. But Rael, he never told me that. You know, I've lost 17 years of my life believing in his lies, and now I have absolute truth that is lies. So I've lost years of my life believing in that guy.
You know, it's very funny. You told me it took you 17 years to start questioning. And I'm happy you left the movement, because all Raelians, normally, they question the philosophy and everything before.
And the door is open.
And the door is open for anybody.
You can go
And I questioned and studied while teaching many months before.
Let me ask you one thing. We're out of time. Do you believe this is a religion or a cult? I mean,
it's more a cult.
You do?
Yeah, and I strongly believe that Rael, he's egomaniac. So that's he wants to be known all over the world, and he's using the cloning technology to get his goal.
You seem that you know the truth itself. And I've been a Raelian since 1978, okay? I've been a Raelian since 1978.
Yeah.
And I've been close to Rael, doing interviews and traveling, and this man is the most humble man I can find on the planet. If he attracts
That's why
attention,
he said he wants to be the biggest prophet.
If he attracts attention through the media, it's because he has a mission. If he wants to spread the word, if he wants to spread the word of the message of the Elohim, he needs to be able to speak. He doesn't do that for himself. He does that because we need to prepare humanity for this day that will arrive before 2035.
This day that when the extraterrestrials come here.
Yes.
When is that?
It's going to be before 2035. And the humanity has to be prepared. And I think now it's
before 2035.
Yes,
that's what you believe.
We are privileged to live in this time right now because everything will happen now. And it's
important. Whose prophecy is that?
This is in the message that His Holiness Israel received from the Elohim that he met in 1973 and in 1975. And you need to read Rael's book to see, to really, because now you hear Eric, you're
well, he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled, and people leave religions.
What's important is the message.
Okay, we'll continue. We got lots more to talk about. And is human cloning really going on? We'll ask the founder of the Human Cloning Foundation when we come back. Please stay with us. This debate continues. It's fascinating. Okay. Thank you. The debate continues about cloning. The Raelians and a spin-off company of theirs called Clonaid say they have a baby named Eve, the first successful cloned human. Now, you got a question.
Yes. My question is for Jamie. How do you feel, have you given any thought to how you're copying your daughter, or a figure of your daughter is going to impact your grandson as he gets older?
Well, I talked with Kyle about this. And I've explained to him, this is not going to be your mother. This is like a twin, like she had a twin. It's not going to be your mother, and you've got to understand that, and he says that he understands.
Now, I know how you feel, but when I talk to him, he says this is when, even though it's a baby, she's going to love me. This is going to be my mom. I think he thinks this is going to be his mom, only it's going to be a younger version of his mom. Well, and he said really something touching. He said, when she gets older, I'm going to take care of her, and she's going to be able to love me, and I'm going to be able to show her the love. So I don't think he really understands.
He's told me that also. I've talked to Kyle about that because, you know, I'm up there in the years, and my daughter Christy is going to take the baby if something should happen to me and raise it, or my daughter Sean. Now Kyle will play an active role if he so chooses to, because that is a twin of his mother. Now,
I think you're going to have to clarify that. Anyway, let's take a question.
I was just wondering, how is it fair to the clone that, like, she's going to grow up knowing that she's replacing a void, and, like, that's not fair to her?
Because she's special, too, because she is her.
Yeah, but she was only created to fill a void in your heart. She would not be here unless your daughter did not die.
You know, how many, this is very funny, how many people lost a child, and after their loss, just as John had another child, would anybody say that new child born through so-called natural production is a replacement? No. Why should it be different for a clone? So this is not really an argument.
So she's a twin, because she can look like Carrie and be like her.
My question is for Thomas and his associate. What type of profit margin is there for this business of cloning? How much money does your organization make from it?
Right now we're spending a lot of money. 3 years of research we have to write off, and we can only survive thanks to the trust from our investors. As I told before, our early patients didn't pay anything because they were the first ones. And it's thanks to the trust we got from our early investors. People who believe in the technology, people who know that this technology is one of the key technologies of the years to come, and it will help many, many people. And, you know, we're very excited about it. And we know, there was somebody telling before, we're kind of a fringe or whatever. Any new technology was always came in to the world thanks to somebody who was a pioneer, somebody who dared to question beliefs.
But Tom,
somebody,
you're absolutely,
anything,
you're
TV,
absolutely
anything,
right.
we have it thanks to pioneers.
You're absolutely right. But why hasn't a major pharmaceutical company that make millions and millions of dollars, why haven't they invested millions and millions of dollars with you?
Because they're afraid. They're politically correct. They put on their suit and their tie in the morning, go to work and do their job and pay their bills. That's their life. You need somebody who's a pioneer, somebody who really wants to push mankind forward. And you don't find that many people,
But John, if I can respond on this real quick. The issue, though, of this being a new technology and being a pioneer, this is not something like in vitro. A lot of people liken this to in vitro fertilization or other fertility techniques, and it's not the same. And the reason why is because these other fertility techniques are either attempting to fix or to replicate existing natural processes. And there is nothing like cloning. Cloning is not a natural process that happens in mammals in any way, shape, or form. And so any way of doing this is going to be experimentation on women and children of the highest order.
It is natural. If we have the capacity of doing it, it's a natural thing.
We can't do this. We can't do this in animals. We can't do this successfully.
Oh yes, they have some success
cloning scientists who work in mammals, because we don't know of any who've given us evidence for humans, but the cloning scientists who work in animals say there is not a single normal clone, not a single normal one.
Not a single normal clone.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not a fact. All the problems that have occurred with animals are always species related. So you can't transfer those on a one-to-one basis to humans, let alone that for humans we have more than 25 years of experience in artificial human reproduction, thanks to IVF, test tube babies. So it's a different story. Let's talk about the scientific facts.
I place my trust, I guess, in this regard on scientists who have a track record in this regard. Rudolf Janisch, who's a leading embryologist at MIT, has said that it would be virtually impossible to create a normal, healthy human clone. Maybe 1 in 1,000 would be normal after that. And here we have people who have demonstrated no evidence whatsoever. And they're just saying, please believe us.
Debate continues. We got a lot more when we come back. Stay with us.